And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys, I hope you're all well. Before we do get into today's video, as always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Guys, we're not playing until sort of New Year's Day, of course, going up against Newcastle, a couple of days to go. Of course, Premier League football being on over this sort of period, over the next couple of days. But yeah, we're not in action until actual New Year's Day itself against Newcastle at Anfield. A game, of course, that is another must-win. We're at the top of the table. We need to go about how we want to go for the rest of the season. We need to make sure we're winning games. We need to go on a real consistent run of winning games, because I have belief, fans have belief, and I know subscribers on this channel have belief that we can have a very, very good season. But that all starts with us making sure that we do capitalise on teams in and around us dropping points and make sure that we can just keep on winning. That's what title challengers do. And that's what teams that, when we've come close to winning the title, and the year we did win the title, we were able to do. Just win consistently, week in and week out, and go for a really, really good run. Of course, we do have a dilemma that's, of course, on the horizon with regards to the African Cup of Nations and the Asian Cup, with Tyrendo and Mo Salah, of course, going to be leaving. However, we have been handed a huge boost in the midst of that going into January, which is really, really exciting, of which we'll discuss in today's video, of course, whilst also going over all the sort of latest Liverpool news from the last 24 hours, which, again, there's not that much news to really report on, but there is a big boost and stuff like that with regards to some of our players as well. So, the boss gave us all mixed news on the likely return dates of Andy Robertson as he previewed the clash. It does so he's been out since, I think, the second international break of the year, or the season, sorry. Dislocated shoulder. It does look like as though he could be back for sort of end of January. Still that sort of latest, but is making a good run up to come back. We're no closer to really knowing the fitness of Thiago and Stefan Bajcetic, but Klopp did insist that both are in good movements with their, Thiago's in a good moment at this moment in time with regards to his fitness, so hopefully he can give us 10-15 games a bit later on in this season. Could really, really help us out, especially when the Europa League come back, because he's a quality player. But at this moment in time, I don't hang my hat on Thiago to be coming back, but it is good news with regards to him that he is starting to move. He's getting good moments with regards to his fitness at this moment in time, so hopefully it won't be too long until we start to see him. I don't think he'll get a renewed contract, but certainly could help us for a pursuit for the title and help us out in other areas where we're going to be stretched with regards to our actual playing squad, especially in Europe, and look at that Europa League as a good time to come back also. So yeah, that's with regards to that. Alexis McAllister has, of course, returned back to training as well ahead of Newcastle. It's an unexpected boost for Liverpool, to be perfectly honest with you, having him back involved within training. It did seem as though he could be out for a considerable amount of time, and not a lot of fans, not a lot of journalists were expecting the player to make a return for this game against Newcastle. But let me tell you, over the last few weeks, we've certainly missed Alexis McAllister in the middle of the park. We really have. He's been so important, so key to what we're trying to do at this moment in time, and his absence has been felt. So this is a huge, huge boost for us going into it, and an unexpected one. We didn't really think that we were going to be receiving that sort of boost, but seeing Alexis McAllister back training ahead of the game against Newcastle is very, very good news for us as Liverpool. Again, let's hopefully he can stay fit going forward as well. Of course, as I stated, Newcastle are our opposition. You've probably made a note of them currently, what's going on with their situation at this moment in time. Eddie Howe has spoke about the sort of injury crisis that they have on their hands at this moment in time. This time last year, of course, flying. Got top four, did ever so well to get to the Champions League. However, but due to FFP, they've not been able to spend a lot of money in the summer due to them having, well, they have very extremely rich owners and could probably buy any player they wanted. But due to the way that FFP is, they can't spend money, so they didn't able to really buy loads of players or bring in loads of players and be able to compete on two fronts within Europe and domestically. Now, in Europe, they had the group of death. They did have a bad hand, if you like, but But the start of the season, they were fairly decent. They were fairly getting wins up on the board. They were there or thereabouts in terms of the top 5 spaces. However, due to the sort of overload, loads of their players are out. They've got 8 first-team players currently out. Sandro Tonali, one of those as well. That's a big summer signing that came in, obviously suspended. But their injury crisis is really reminiscent of probably us last season. But they've, so many players out at this moment in time. And you would probably got a feel for them in that way, regards to them. They're currently sitting 9th in the table, 1 win in the last 7 games, which isn't good enough on their front. The situation, it couldn't be any better for us personally. I don't think, I don't look at other teams and celebrate when their players get injured, by no means. I do think Liverpool could beat Newcastle with their best team anyway, especially at Anfield. But again, them having such an injury-ridden squad is going to be a boost to us in some capacity as well. You can't dance around it. That's going to be the case. They've got a really dire team going into it, and again, we've got to capitalise on that. We've got to be ruthless and make sure that we win that game for sure. Winning that, I'm looking at the other games in and around the Premier League as well, because I'm a geek like that. I like to see what's happening. Manchester City, of course, taking on Sheffield United. You probably expect them to get all 3 points in that game. Of course, they're playing later today. Of course, then Fulham, Arsenal going to Fulham tomorrow, which again could prove to be fairly tricky and then about there. Hopefully, Fulham can maybe nab a draw. Fulham are in fairly decent form as well. But I'm always looking in and around what's happening with the title race. I know it's early, but I'm enjoying being top of the table and want to know the whereabouts of where everyone's sort of doing. Of course, then Liverpool take on Newcastle on New Year's Day, which is going to be a spectacle. But there could be more points drops in and around us. We don't know just yet, but as I said, we focus on what we're doing. With regards to January transfer news, guys, absolutely nothing. We're about 2 days away. There's nothing really to report to you on it. Again, hopefully that does change as time goes on. But yeah, very, very quiet. We're starting to see other teams in and around Europe making moves, going around early. But at this moment in time, with regards to the Liverpool space, is nothing sort of concrete rumours with regards to players that we could be interested in. There has also been those Incasio links. There's been other player links with regards to Hincapié in central defence. But honestly, there's no substance to it with regards to are they going to be making any moves? Probably our only transfer news at this moment in time is with regards to Nat Phillips. He could be recalled, his loan ends at Celtic on January 1st anyway, and then there's other players that could of course get recalled. We don't know the Fabio Carvalho situation, but at this moment in time, not great reading with regards to our transfer business, but hopefully that does change, because we don't want to fall asleep at the wheel, especially when we're top of the league. Make sure that we fix our roof while the sun is shining upstairs, up there, and make sure that we make our maintenance and get some players in and go for this league title, because it's there to win. I genuinely do believe that. But Liverpool fans, that's all I've really got for you today, guys. We've covered quite a lot of good news with regards to our injuries, obviously getting an unexpected boost with regards to Alexis McAllister coming back, and yeah, that's all I've really got for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Please do hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Push.